I did put some logs in here, and a lot of the logs were cut this year, but some of the logs have been in the ground. Some of them were actually landscaping logs and are in various states of decay and have various bugs and slugs and other things that were on them, which I had then threw into the raised bed, which will help to rejuvenate the soil. You want a living soil instead of filling it up full of different fertilizers and stuff which aren't natural. I'm trying to do things more of a natural way and spend less money on things. Don't have a ton of money to spend on my garden, so the more natural way I can do it, the better. So as you can see over here, I'll be cutting up this old landscaping log and putting that in there as well, which the bugs have worked over very well, and I'm sure there's still some bugs in there. You can see some bugs on there right now, and let it dry out a little bit in the sun. Hopefully kill some of the black mold on there, but various molds are good for the soil. I'm probably going to try to cut some of the black mold off. I would imagine that's not necessarily the best. I did see a little bit of that, but unlike your house, various molds are good for the soil as they do different things. You can see a little slug or snail on there, which that will go right into the raised bed as well. See if we can't get in that. We can just do his little thing there. But anyway, roly-polies are another thing that you want in your soil, as they do eat some of your roots and stuff, but they mostly eat dead things. The snails can also be a good thing in there as well. They will more go after your roots, but they also eat a lot of dead matter. And also, obviously, everybody knows it's good to have worms in your soil, as they bring a lot of life back to your soil. So I will be adding some worms in here, going around the yard and trying to put some in there. I do have some charcoal, which is good to have in your soil, and I do have a fair amount of that, which I got from a neighbor. Most of that right over here is charcoal, and a fair amount of that here is charcoal as well. I did put some cardboard down underneath this raised bed to keep the grass from popping on through, and you can see some of the logs over here. So I did spray these peach trees with the neem oil. As you can see, there are some of these bugs that I don't want to get too much working on these leaves, and especially in the first year. From what I've been reading, once your trees get more established, it doesn't really matter too much if you got a few bugs on there, because they will more just go after the weaker leaves and the weaker fruit. But in the first couple of years, I'm just taking the approach to be a little bit more cautious with that, as I only have 2 peach trees and 2 apple trees. Got some tomatoes that are growing up with backyard garden. Give them a little spray with the neem oil. Keep the bugs away from them. Give my rhubarb a spray. Just transplanted this year. It was one plant. It's transformed into 4. And it's doing quite well. Had quite a nice amount of rain here in Iowa this year. So, yeah. One thing that I'm thinking about doing with this apple tree is doing it into a living hedge and connecting it with this other apple tree over here. Probably won't do that till next year. It's still, as you know, the beginning of July, so depending on how they grow throughout the year, I might start to bend them towards each other, but I definitely need them to get a little bit more developed first before I start doing that. So the bugs are definitely starting to come for these apple trees as well. So I'm definitely gonna spray some more neem oil. Got some marigolds growing up, and these are supposed to help with some of the bugs, but some of the same bugs seem to like these marigolds as well, but they're not flowering yet.